So my tip for you for this next week is that you become a little bit of a stickler with yourself, with your own thoughts, and that you observe your thoughts around certain subjects, how you kind of violate your own integrity, how you justify things with yourself, how you kind of twist things just a little bit so that you don't have to face something. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly energy update here live on Skype and our energy meditation. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy therapist, energy coach, and energy healer. And today I want to talk to you about these collective energies, these energies that we are all feeling around us that are coming in here in these next 7 days, week 32. The 31st of July till the 6th of August, how to best deal with them, and then talk a little bit about how this is translating for you right now. And then we're going to go into the experience, the inner experience, the experience, as I call this, of our higher self together in what we call an energy meditation. So yes, a heartfelt welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming and thank you for tuning in. A little bit of housekeeping here real quick. Tonight on Friday at 9 p.m. Florida time, so that is in the middle of the night for you guys in Europe, in the morning. Yeah, in the morning for you guys in Australia. I do the live forecast for August 2021, and this live forecast, which is done in our Sacred Self-Healing community, is also a discussion of how these things translate for ourselves. We do a little review of July energies, and for this forecast, I want to invite all of you. I'm going to post the webinar link, the access link here, so if you guys are interested in peeking in what it's like to discuss, overall energies and not just sort of listening to a prediction, but if you want to participate in this, you don't have to say anything, just be there and feel what it's like to be in the presence of people like you who are reflecting on this deeper level that are energetically sensitive maybe, or empaths. All right, so this is what I see coming here for us in this next week, week 32, is going to be a week that will challenge us in small ways, not in big ways, okay? So this will subjectively feel a little bit like you can give yourself a break. You can get a little bit of a breather. There are some things that want to be reviewed. There are things that want to be looked at after these 2-3 months of heavy internalization, internal experiences, and kind of chewing and marinating in our own emotions and recognizing the insanity of our own thoughts, and perhaps also this collective thought type of back and forth. Yes, these media wars that I've predicted for 2021, they're in full motion. You can really observe this well if you try to get information. It's really hard. You literally need to know what you are looking for, to find it, because there's so much contradicting information out there right now that it's really difficult for us as truth seekers to see through all of this. And this is kind of like the task for all August, is to really find our perspective, our the lens that we want to see things through. And last week I've already announced this. The best lens, especially if you are interested in truth, is neutrality. Neutrality is where you look at data, you look at information, and then you allow yourself to evaluate this from different perspectives within yourself. We all have sort of a rationality perspective, our left brain, where we are going into this, like, is this even possible? Or does this sound like feasible? Or, is this some kind of woo-woo talk? Okay. But then there's also the other part of us, and that is the part that kind of has a somewhat of a gut feeling about things, like how things, how they feel to us. It's like where we bring our subjectivity into the game, but without filtering the information, where we say, well, how does this information make me feel? And this is the big theme here for this next week, is to go into this place, to cultivate this place in you, where you allow yourself not just to be bombarded by outer information, which at this point, I think it's established that you can't be sure if it's biased or not, if there is some kind of hidden agenda or something behind that, but where you just allow yourself to receive information and then form some kind of a compass inside of you. We always talk about this as the heart mind, where you hear it with your intellect, and you feel it with your body, and you bring all this together and form sort of your own perspective around this. So a typical conclusion that I come to, for example, when I listen to news or read news for that matter, is that I first try to be objective. I just read the article and let my intellect process what I'm hearing there. And oftentimes there are things like, this doesn't make sense, intellectually, where I'm like, oh, no, I have different data in my brain that tells me that this isn't quite right. Then there is another part of me, okay, that has to do with my own bias, okay? So this has to do with my worldview and how I see where all this is going, right? So is it confirming my bias or not? Which makes me a little bit subjective in that way, that it no longer can be neutral. If I want to see things in a certain way, and the information that I'm getting contradicts that information, I'll be more likely to dismiss it. If what I'm reading or what I'm seeing confirms my personal opinion or belief, then I'm more likely to just, take it in, sometimes to the effect that I'm not testing it anymore. So basically what I'm saying here is that this next week, you're going to have to learn and cultivate how to test information based on, the data itself, based on your own bias. And then the third part that I haven't mentioned yet is like, what kind of emotions, what kind of overall feeling does this information trigger in me? And therefore, is this good information? This is just like with food, guys. Yeah, there are some foods out there that we know that are bad for us. Yeah, and we have no problems refraining from eating them because they don't even taste good to us. Yeah, it's not attractive to us. Then we have foods that are out there that we know they're not good for us, but we kind of like them. Okay, so for me, it's donuts. Okay, I know donuts aren't good for me. They sit in my stomach like a rock. They lower my immune response. All these kind of things that I know as an ex-chemist, right? But they just taste so good. And it's not that I have the bias, okay, that I talk to myself and tell myself that donuts are actually good for me. No. I know it's bad for me, but it's hard for me to resist them. And this is where you get into trouble with yourself, okay? So this is the power of your own bias, okay? You know that something isn't good for you, you still do it, and now you're creating a confliction inside of you. I will talk about this later, why this is a problem for us psychologically and also energetically. But this donut example gives you an idea of how we, within ourselves, the way we process information within ourselves, kind of sort things and position things. And there's a third perspective, and that is, that donuts aren't good for you, okay, but you see yourself incapable of doing anything about this temptation, and you eat donuts every day. And you literally, sort of violating your own integrity, your own values on a daily level. And what it does to us, besides that it can occupy quite a little bit of energy in the back of our minds, is that it has an effect on our self-worth. It has an effect on how we feel about ourselves, because if we know that something is not good for us and we can feel it and we understand it intellectually, and we there's no doubt in our mind that this isn't good for me. It could also be a relationship, or it could also be a job, or it could also be something that you see that you really, really need to change in your life, but you don't do anything about it. You need to understand the consequences of that, because if there are no consequences, and this is the part where our own mind does the gaslighting, where our own mind does the mind control, where we justify things or whitewash things in front of us, or where we simply avoid them, all right, this is where we have an energy management problem, because our energy is now occupied with this conflict and it is not aware to us. And it leads to us not fully being able to trust in ourselves, not fully being able to trust in our capability to change something. Yes, we get frustrated with ourselves. And you all know what frustration does. Frustration puts you into a place of ego coping. It makes you want to avoid this negative feeling that comes with the frustration. It's a negative feeling that you have about yourself. And so you try to avoid looking at what causes the problem. And this is what, we all do subconsciously, and how we often even sabotage ourselves, or in bad cases, re-traumatize ourselves. So this next week is all in that light. You're going to have to look at things that come forward that clearly inform you that this is not good for you. And you will feel almost shattered, in your trust in yourself, or in this case, because some of this will be related to the vaccines, to, like what the promises were, and how this isn't really what we, authorities said it would be. And this can create a very, very strong frustration energy in you that can lead to either things. So you getting either angry and feel like you have to rebel against authorities, or whatever, whomever, made this promise to you. And this could also be yourself, right? Making a promise to yourself and you not keeping it. Or it can lead to absolute powerlessness, where you feel so frustrated that you don't even want to address it anymore. You feel left alone, you feel helpless, and you kind of check out. This is what you need to watch here in this next week. There's not, a lot of big things. Maybe it's more like all these little things where you are lying to yourself, or where you are checking out, or where you are not addressing something, or keeping a promise that you're keeping to yourself, that will compound, that will accumulate, that will haunt you. They will make you passive in your energy, because they will occupy so much of your energy in the back of your mind, that you will want to check out. And the reason why this is such a big problem here for all of us in this day and age is that the media wars, the mind control that comes through this constant propaganda that we're exposed to, be it in social media or news, or even movies and songs and so forth, is that it kind of attacks that trust in ourselves. It attacks, that power that we all have to stand up and say, you know what, that's not okay for me. That doesn't feel right. This isn't true to me. I'm not going to follow with this, because this is what I need. This is what I want, because this is who I am, and I can't change who I am. I don't want to change who I am. I want to be true to myself. I want to be my true self. I want to be able to be accountable and responsible with myself. And that is the part that's being attacked here through this ongoing propaganda and mind control. This isn't like a huge, big conspiracy theory, guys. This is just the side effects of globalism and consumerism. Yeah, because consumerism is based on this constant messaging about, like how to become a better you, how to change the way other people see you, how to feel better about yourself. without addressing, okay, what really needs to be addressed. So marketing, consumerism is really dedicated to making you feel better about yourself without doing anything, with being passive. Yeah, the shortcut. All the products that we buy, all the things and the services and so forth that we sign up for, they are all geared towards us feeling good about ourselves without doing anything. They all promise a shortcut. And this is where we violate ourselves, our own integrity, because, I mean, granted, there are a lot of things that have brought cool progress to our lives, convenience, or, you know, they're time saving, you know, they allow us to do things that we wouldn't be able to do without, like, say, technology. But there's also a lot of things that occupy us more now than they ever did before, like just take your phones. Okay, I'm not against technology, most of you know this, but how many hours do you actually pay attention to your phone as opposed to yourself or your loved ones or the things that you want to accomplish? Yeah, how is this sort of subconsciously eating up all your attention, and with it your motivation to change something in your life, to be active, to be an active participant in your life? Those are the kind of things that you are going to see, you know, in a more sort of clear light here in this next week. So my tip for you for this next week is that you become a little bit of a stickler with yourself, with your own thoughts, and that you observe your thoughts around certain subjects, how you kind of violate your own integrity, how you justify things with yourself, how you kind of twist things just a little bit so that you don't have to face something. Yeah, to develop this discipline with yourself, to observe the quality of your thoughts and how you're letting yourself down. Yeah, and a way out of this, so that you don't beat yourself up, because this is then often what happens when we start looking at, you know, the power of our thoughts, and especially, you know, how we allow our thoughts to be hijacked, and how we become silently complicit, you know, by you know, justifying things away. Yeah, is by looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture here? What is the, you know, what could be the purpose of me having this learning experience? Maybe it is that you become a more active, more empowered, more a true person here for this lifetime. Okay, and you see, you know, but basically your different options here. You can just go with the flow, yeah, and let your attention be diverted by all these outer things, yeah, by all the rah-rah around you, including the emotional projection that all the people do to deflect or distract from their own inconsistencies, yeah. Or you say, you know, I mean, I don't have to vilify others. I don't have to make others bad, okay, in order to become more true to myself and see your karmic purpose in stepping into who you came here to be. And this requires you to be sort of super honest with yourself. Yeah, to recognize that by you following along, you become part of this system, or whatever, you know, you want to call this, the propaganda, the gaslighting, the mind control. By not stepping out of it, yeah, all of a sudden you have become complicit. You have become a part of it. You are enabling it. So really what I'm saying is, yeah, before you go all into anger and project all your anger towards like the government or the CDC or, you know, the vaccine companies or the virus or, you know, the regulations or whatever, stop for a moment and look what these thoughts are actually doing to your life, and how they are either bringing you forward or pulling you into a more authentic future, or how they're actually just helping you to deflect and not having to face, you know, yourself. And for those of you, many of you are quite aware of these things, who also see the collective karma here and, you know, like what it does to humanity and so forth. For you, this is a moment here where you can also tap into, like, what is my behavior doing to the collective? What am I actually putting out here into, or for the greater good for all? And if you have already realized that you are not actually contributing a lot and you would like to contribute more, then you should ask yourself, how can I contribute more? How can I make an impact? Yes, how can I, or what impact do I want to have? Do I want to be, like somebody who just sort of follows, what everybody else does, and I want to feel sort of that, I'm not, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to stick out too much because, I don't want to go into confrontation with others. And do I want to be somebody who just always conforms, for the sake of avoiding confrontation? Or do I want to be a rebel? Do I want to go out and, make poster boards and say, hey, guys, don't believe in, blah, blah? Or do I want to become an authentic self that, really, develops sort of a life plan that, puts this into action, where you are creating something? Maybe you can create a community, maybe you can start a discussion group, or maybe you can start a blog, or maybe you can start a nonprofit organization like I do, where I'm contributing to the school system, where I'm coming up with new ways of integrating schools into our communities and helping children to prepare for life with actually learning true life skills, meanwhile still, academically developing up to speed, up what's needed. All these kind of things are things that are going to help you with your own authenticity, and with, showing you that you actually matter, that you can do something, that you have the power to change. So all that, is basically sort of anticipated the kind of thoughts that you're going to have in this next week. And as this is asking us about, what is my true self? Who am I truly? What is my authenticity here? What am I bringing into this world? All right, you should use this time to refine your plans for the future. You should use this time to really go into your vision of yourself in the future. If you're younger, you have this big future and you can see all these complexities, and it may be hard for you to see yourself in the future, but to tackle that, to become an active participant in your future. And for those of you who have already experienced successes or failures in life, that, see yourself at a place where you may have to come with a new plan, all right, then face that, okay? Say to yourself, okay, whatever I thought I was going to do is now kind of obsolete because the conditions have changed. So I can't really do this anymore. So allow yourself to come up with a new vision of yourself, but don't be passive in this, all right? Refine this vision of yourself, adjust it, correct it if you have. So this next week is really, really good for conscious manifestation, for tapping into what you want to become, whom you want to experience this life as. And another invitation for you on Saturday at midnight, Florida time. So that's early, that's early morning hours in Europe. That's evening hours in Australia, and sort of in the middle of the night here in the United States. I have my monthly free energy session, energy training and energy experience session, where you can go with myself and a bunch of other people into this deeper consciousness experience of connecting with your true self, with a live discussion afterwards where we can share our experiences. That's the Connect with Your True Self on Saturday at midnight, and I'm going to post the link for the free sign up for that as well. So 2 free events for you here coming up in these next 2 days to support you, which helps me to be more authentic and more true to myself and my mission in life, because my mission in life is to assist people like you to make that deeper connection with yourself and to find a more refined vision of your future and empower you to make the steps necessary to get there. So this concludes the energy update here, the energy tips for this next week. And before we go into this meditation together, I wanted to ask you guys how you are feeling, how you are experiencing this time at the moment. How do these kind of aspects that I just mentioned, how do they process with you? What does this trigger in you? What does this make you think about? Or how is this translating for you? Who wants to share? Yeah, if there's a blankness that comes up for you when asked, how things are translating inside of yourself, that's a sign for you that you are not spending enough time with yourself, that you are not actually present in your own sort of inner compass that I mentioned in the beginning. Because if somebody asks you how you're feeling right now, how is all that you're seeing is translating for you? If you have disciplined being with yourself and how you see the world and yourself in it and your future self, you can answer that question without reservations, without hesitation. Yeah, you can say, obviously it's very confusing what is going on right now, and it's hard for me to form an opinion about what is going on. This would be me, right? There's a lot of new stuff, new data that is coming forward, and I suppose that a lot of things that we were told or that we were made believe are not quite the way they were they were propagated, which is not a surprise to me, because this is what my body, my true self, has been communicating to me all along. So right now I'm just kind of sitting here and watching everything, making an effort to be neutral and asking myself, what can I do, to keep myself in that sort of present moment awareness, in that sort of attention that is required right now to be able to deal with all of this. I see a lot of people around me not being able to deal really well with this, who go into frustration or who go into checking out or who go into, anger about things. And, this is where, my own mission, my own purpose comes in. Yeah, not that I think I have it all figured out, but I know that due to my own experiences and my own expertise that I can be of service there, and I'm focusing on that. So as I am focusing on being on service to others, I am forced to constantly double check and go into accountability with myself. And that is what allows me to do these kind of things, these reflections, these energy tips. And last but not least, this invitation to go into these deeper states, into these meditative states that are clearly helping people, to sort their thoughts, to observe their thoughts, and to connect with themselves and others more. To invite you to do this with me here, because I've noticed that all this talk about what's good for us, and what's bad for us isn't really gripping. We have to do it. And so I'm stepping into this accountability with myself, but also with all of the people who are willing to listen to this, who are willing to hear this message and say, come on, let's do this together. Let's do this together now. Let's reflect together. Let's meditate together. Let's review together. Let's do this together. This is basically all that I do here within this sacred self-healing community and all that I put out is about walking the talk, because this helps me to be accountable with myself. This helps me to stay true to myself and to not just get pulled into these idealizations of my ego and these theoretic goals, would be goods, okay, or should be's. All right, I do not have this overlay in my head that it would be better to do this or this or that, because when I feel that I should do something in a different way, I immediately translate that and do something. Yeah, I do it, I change it. I don't always know if it will work, but I do something to refine it based on these insights that I have. I'm allowing myself to be in this space of insight and inner reflection at all times. And I'm inviting you to join me doing this by showing you that this doesn't have to be a struggle. This doesn't have to be a painful process. This can come with a lot of joy. This can come with a lot of optimism, with a lot of, educated trust, educated faith. Yeah, not blind faith, not fanaticism, not, polarized or political opinions, but a solid feeling of knowing who you are and what you can contribute to this life and how you want to live this life. This is what I'm inviting you to. And because the month of August is going to bring all these authenticity aspects and, like walking the talk and how we're translating this into the practical, the feasibility aspects, many of us will also need to go into, asking for help, collaborating, asking for support. And you may not always feel this in 3D, but you will find support in something that, people like me call the spiritual world. And I want to show you today with the energy meditation that I picked, which is called Grace. It's nothing to do with the religious grace. It's a spiritual frequency, basically a resonance that you can learn to tune into, that is linked to surrender, okay, that is linked to this feeling inside of you where you realize that you're at the end of your rope, you don't really know what to do, and that you need support. And it teaches you where to ask for support. It reminds of praying, but it's not the same. It is not actually asking some kind of outside power to help you, but it is tuning inward inside of you and asking your higher self, your inner higher power, to support you. And what happens when one cultivates this is truly amazing. And this doesn't have anything to do with religion or New Age or anything like that. There is a part in us, and this is linked to our true self. Our true self is kind of like the mediator, the bridge between the two selves here, this ego self that I experience in this 3D world, and my higher self that is linked to my soul purpose, to this sort of I am, this like eternal being that lives in me. And when you can build this bridge within yourself, which happens through your heart, through connecting with your heart, you will never ever feel alone again. You will never feel powerless again, because you know that there is this inner higher power in you that can provide you with sometimes guidance, but sometimes also just the feeling of being loved, the feeling of being supported, of not being alone. This is often all we need. Yeah. And obviously I have, a whole business sort of created around this, with ongoing sessions like a gym, where you can train this. And as a perk for all of you, even if you're not participating, not signing up for any of these ongoing sessions, I've just posted the new calendar for August here. I've color-coded every day for you based on the energy wellness that you might experience on these days, yeah, where it can be a little critical, where you might feel very heavy, or where you might feel a bit confused because you're getting stuck in your mind, or where are really, really good days to come out of the woodwork and really do something and sort of step into this higher self that you are. All right, so you can lean back now. I'm going to turn myself off and turn the music on. This meditation, this guided meditation or energy meditation, comes from the Sacred Self-Healing online course. It's 1 out of 24, and this one is called Grace, step 5. Yeah, and it takes a little bit over 20 minutes, yeah, to connect with this frequency. So just lean back, allow this healing frequency to go through you. Take note of what is moved inside of you, and we have a few minutes. No, we don't. You may want to share this then here in the thread, what came forward. Yeah. Sorry for waking you up, for getting you back into this 3D mode. I don't know if you could feel this. Very, very powerful when you contextualize this, right? When everything that I said in the energy update was also contained in this energy meditation. Could you feel that? Yeah, but it addressed the same subjects, but in a different way, in a more internal way. It wasn't so much my words. It was the feeling that was invoked inside of you. This is the beauty of connecting with your inner higher power, guys. So with this update, if you're receiving this today on Friday, come and join us tonight for the live energy update for August, and take advantage of the free Connect with Your True Self transmission tomorrow. This is a step up from these energy meditations. It's an energy session, and then we have a live talk afterwards to share our experiences. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Thank you for all your support, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week that can help you to refine or define the vision of yourself more clearly. Bye bye, everyone.